It's the story of a man who chooses to give back, a young entrepreneur named Francis Hendricks, who grew up on the streets of Baltimore and as a successful landlord came up with a way to help those in need.
I know that there's a lot of senior citizens and single parents that live in the city that needs this kind of assistance, and I don't think there was any other kind of program out there that would help them with something like this.
One of those people is Mrs. Brown.
And the neighbors told me that, she was a senior citizen and she had like a lot of problems wrong with her house. So I went up, talked to her just to see what kind of, situation she was in.
The doctor wanted to put me in a nursing home and I wouldn't go to a nursing home. He wanted there for a while to get myself together. I told him I could get myself together at home.
When she told me her situation that she'd been there for 20 years, her and her husband bought the house 20 years ago and her husband passed away 10 years ago, so she recently retired. She's 72 years old.
I work part-time at a nursing home, but then I got to the point where I can't walk very well, so I don't work anymore.
She had arthritis, so she wasn't able to get around as much as she was before, so she ended up, having a bedroom in the living room. When I went up to talk to her, I also, was looking around and taking a look at the house, and I found that she's as far as the house definitely fit the criteria what I was looking for. I mean, it had holes in the walls, the ceiling that fell in, the kitchen was, almost like ramshack, and meaning, it was so cluttered with different things, after she'd been there 20 years or so, it just accumulated a lot of things over the years.
There's a hole all the way down to the basement. The whole floor got to be done back here.
She had two boarders that was staying there with her, she said that they was, helping out with as far as some of the bills or giving her additional expense that she can use as far as her own bills. But I don't think they was there, to try to help keep her house up in the condition that she would want to keep it up.
I can't do that. I cannot throw nothing away. How can I do something and can't throw nothing away? All this can be thrown away. But she said, I can't do no work back here, I don't throw nothing away. So I just give up. I give up.
Things that have to be done, I mean, it's not bad. The house is not a bad house. It's just got things wrong with it. The house is getting too much for me.
The first thing I noticed was the ceiling in the living room where she was sleeping at. That fell in. When I talked to her about that, she told me it fell in years ago. How long has the ceiling been like that?
Since my husband died. That happened from air conditioner upstairs in my bedroom.
This the air conditioner caused this problem.
Is there any way you can fix that fan? My husband was sitting in a chair over there one day, and the fan was going, and one of the blades broke off and just missed his head by that much.
After a long look around, Francis decides that Mrs. Brown needs the kind of help that he's willing to provide.
After what seems like 1,000 rings, I decided to try again.
Hello?
Hi, Miss Brown?
Yeah.
Hi, this is Francis Hendricks. I was to your house last week about doing the repairs to your house. How are you today?
All right.
Well, that's good. I just wanted to let you know that we looked at your videotape of the house and everything, and we decided we're going to go ahead and do the work to your house.
Wait a minute. What? Oh, no, but your brother's been trying to call you. I noticed on the phone. Yes, what? Hello?
Can you hear me okay?
Yes.
Okay. I said I looked at the videotape of your house.
Yes.
And I decided, we're going to go ahead and do the work to your house.
Well, you're going to bring me some papers over here so I can see what you're all about.
I'm going to bring you something so you can take a look at it, okay?
Okay.
But how do you feel about us doing the work to your house?
It's all right if it's legitimate.
When I first told her about the type of program that I was putting together, she just couldn't believe, something like this was real. It's legitimate, but how do you feel about someone coming in doing the work and you don't have to pay anything?
Oh, I like that.
When someone comes, especially these days, and the way real estate is now, someone come to your house and tell you, that they want to help you fix up your house and there's no charge for doing these things, you got to be assuming that there's a catch somewhere. I mean, it's just unreal. I'll stop past tomorrow around noon time, okay?
Okay.
I'll see you then.
Francis and his crew began what to others might seem impossible, the process of cleaning up and fixing up. It was the work that Francis was used to because of the many similar city houses he's rehabbed as a landlord. He recruited one of the guys who lived at the house and that guy's friend, plus one of his own workers who he paid out of his pocket.
When I first went back there and seeing how cluttered it was like we couldn't get back there to see what was the problem. But eventually, once we cleaned, first thing we went in and did, we cleaned the lower level out. We removed all the things that she didn't want, all the things that wasn't any good, and we tried to like somewhat put aside the things that we were sure that she wasn't going to use. Then we went over and redid the pantry floor. We put the strongest wood, well, I wouldn't say the strongest that was out there, but we put, very thick wood on that floor that would make it safe for someone to walk back and forth on it. On the first day after we, went through and cleaned everything out, I probably went to the landfill probably 2 times. And each time it was a load of trash on the truck.
Once things were cleaned out, there were hours of scraping and painting and repairing.
When I went to the kitchen, me and the guys, we like scraped the kitchen walls. Because it was like the plaster walls. We had to scrape and repaint those walls in this pantry area that she'd been afraid to go onto for the last couple of years because the floor fell in back there.
Francis and his crew replaced tiles and repaired the ceiling. Francis's son Monty also lends a helping hand, replacing Mrs. Brown's ceiling fan. And there were countless finishing touches. Through it all, Mrs. Brown chooses to remain hidden from the cameras.
I think Miss Brown didn't want it to be on camera because I guess she didn't really want people out there to know, that she lived in this condition.
In just 3 days, Francis manages to fix a home and make a friend. More than hanging new curtains, he let some sunshine into Mrs. Brown's life.
When it was all over, she had a big smile on her face. She didn't want us to leave, but we had to leave.
It was 3 days' work and $2,500 out of Francis's own pocket, not counting the labor expenses.
That's magic. You're a magician.
So how do it look in here?
Nice.
Does it look any different?
Oh my. It smells better too.
Let's go take a look at this back room.
Oh my, isn't that nice?
Mrs. Brown has hopes of one day returning to her hobby of ceramics. She now has a place to make that possible.
You have a strong, solid floor now. We gotta put another type lock on this door. But we fixed it so it can open and close now. Well, I felt good about the whole process of doing the work because I knew at the end she would be satisfied, she would be happy, and just to think that no one else would have ever came along and did the things that I did for her that day. So I hope you have a good day and a good life.
Thank you, Francis. You are godsend.
Okay. It was good helping you. See you next time.
Okay.
Take care.
You be good now.
Bye-bye.